Hi everybody, this is Jeff Rudd, Unite People. The following is a post for election runners and for those that wish to have some insight into the shenanigans that goes on at such times, and I've also thrown in a few tips too. My good friend Alistair Smith from Balbriggan is currently running in the general election of 2020 within the Fingal, Dublin area. He's realistic about his chances. Like others and myself, when we too do the same at times, we are not in it for the money. Hell, we are out of fortune knowing before we start running even, we will indeed be out of pocket big time. We do what we do for many reasons. Maybe to remind our more professional PR polished and well prepared that they cannot have their own dictatorial way 100% of the time. Maybe it's to raise issues or expose them where others are trying to hide them. Maybe it's because we're tired of seeing our loved ones kicked around by state departments. Maybe because we cannot, unlike Leo Varadkar or Regina Doherty, to name two guilty, walk away on our streets or from their offices as we discover wrongs or abuses and do not do anything. There are many reasons. People, if they can, should try running for office once at least in their life. It's an eye-opening experience. And even here now, as I try to describe it, I do so to you, the listener, knowing that what I type to you is genuinely only presenting a scratch of a deep surface others and I could write a book on from our experiences. Firstly, no matter if you're good, pure intentioned, a genuinely nice person, you will be attacked by the left or the right wing fringe. For they consider you an enemy from the start, as you might be taking votes off their extremists too. If you're not with them, you're against them. There's no in between with some of them. They will take no chances as they invent pure rubbish, join you as a Facebook friend, troll your posts, and then use whatever there is on those other post locations to belittle you elsewhere and twist your words and intentions. Those that do it are often trash that hide behind constant anonymous names and front group names. Secondly, you will have everything thrown at you as you run for election. I kid you not. Sometimes you will be asked for your thoughts on everything from UFOs, the Illuminati, the royal family of the UK. Have you read Mein Kampf yet? That's one that was thrown at me more than once. To even more bizarre stuff that to most would never cross their minds. You will get asked, and rightly so I should say, about issues of the day or incoming ones as others see them. All runners should expect that, but all runners will not and cannot prepare themselves for all questions. The range of stuff asked is vast, but you're half expected by some to be knowledgeable on all of them. In other words, for some out there, you cannot win. Runners should realise this. Keep your answers straight, and if you don't know anything, or don't know the matter that's been asked of you, be honest. The least lies you tell is the least that comes back to haunt you. Runners need a mental suit of armour. They also need good ankle support hiking boots. Trust me, standard shoes for doing weeks of walking for day after day for hours just doesn't cut it. After 3 to 4 weeks your feet will be sore, your ankles will be in bits, and if you are my age presently, in 2020, I am now 51, you will feel it in the hips and knees also. You will be utterly drained, but you will also be expected to be on the ball at times. You will get phone calls, out of the blue, from many, and at all times of the day and night. Tip for all you runners. Leave your phone outside the bathroom. I know for some of you, you have a phone phobia where it must be with you at all times, but leave it outside the bathroom. Which, a trip to the bathroom can become a heavenly break sometimes in more ways than one. You will get emails, personal messages, sometimes personal callers to your door. Expect the unexpected. You will get calls from organisation groups asking you to attend functions, which turn out to be a mass interrogation which can take place at a moment's notice. You might have to do this 2 or 3 times a week for the weeks on end of an election period. You will get reporters after you, radio, TV, local and national press, all wanting a piece of you. If you fail to answer one, that's it, you're ignoring everybody else's questions, or so you will be tainted. Some of your family will get pissed off at you because every time they try to call you, your phone is engaged, or you haven't called them back after their missed call, obviously because you were dealing with someone else at the time, or an incoming call. They might not see you in a while, so they get annoyed with you. And yes, that might include your mother, father, brother, or sister. They will get annoyed at you for not calling them back because you spent that much time on the phone to one person who keeps you on for hours. Trust me, I've been there. That your phone battery dies and then you can't be reached at all. A tip for runners: buy a decent phone battery charger. A decent one costs at least €30 to €35 and will allow several recharges to your phone. You will have people promising you to give you loads of support, especially across social media, but many of them never turn up. You will have help coming from people that are quietly watching your posts and your actions in the background and then pleasantly surprise you by they aiding you totally out of the blue. And all while this is going on, you will still be hourly attacked by anonymous idiots online, slating you off, all pretending to know every exact detail of your personal life and how it all is rotten. Of course, they then share this fake info further, pretending it to be fact, and other readers then see it in writing and think, oh, it must be fact. Tip for runners: completely ignore Irish forums. Stay away, they are jammed full of anonymous assholes who are expert in bullcrap and trolling. Stay away, never return. Tell your friends absolutely not to tell you about crap on the lying forums. Trust me, it's for peace of mind. Not knowing is doing you a favour. You can't be baited easily as well. You will be accused of ducking issues while dealing with others. You will be accused of being right wing by the lefties and being accused of being left wing by the righties. No kidding. I've been accused of it. If you are willing to hear both sides out and give the best of both sides a fair chance, the extremists of the left or right will attack you for being a centralist. You will have the village gossip moaning to your family, even to your elderly parents. We all know the type. They smile to your face, and when you're not around, they'll stab you in the back while talking to others about you. Who does she think she is? They are to run an election. It never occurs to those bitching and the moaners that they never actually got up off their arse and stood for something serious. You will be criticised for speaking out no matter what. You will be given out about for at least trying to listen to others. If you don't listen to even the genuine extremists and others, they will moan to all that you're unwilling to listen to anyone. They want their form of democracy, but don't want you practicing good democracy at the same time. Again, trust me on this one, I've had this recently. You will be called for a local radio interview. The presenter might be best mates with one of the other runners. Hell, even being their wedding best man previously, or a regular pub drinking partner. So the rare question time you will sparingly get because election laws say you must get something will be deliberately burned up by a biased presenter as they will repeatedly interrupt you before you can get anything across that's positive or good out to any listeners you rarely get a chance to speak to. Something that might expose you are a good decent person will be blocked. The radio presenter sometimes will demand beforehand that you list in an email what topics you intend to talk about in the near future. They will then ignore that list deliberately and deliberately keep you away from it, burning up more of your rare airtime with crap that is of absolutely no relevance and actually puts you down. They will do more of the talking, for they love the sound of their own voice. You all know which ones I'm talking about. And they will also dredge through your personal life, family, brothers, sisters, the whole lot, as if they've given a PI license to do so, and anything they find in your connecting family or personal life surrounding it, they will throw at you totally out of the blue. They will take ad breaks just as you try to bring up something relatable between you and your listener. They will take ad breaks to try avoid you asking questions of others also possibly present. They will let answers go unquestioned for those they like, and they won't let you off the hook if you try and dodge something. Let's be honest, you shouldn't really try and dodge something anyway. But the tricks go on. Your personal life will be 100% pulled apart by very biased presenters. Meanwhile, despite your well intentions and weeks of efforts, by the minute and day, you will be given out to for not being at four places at the same time. Oh, they never attended our function. They must be sitting at home. EastEnders must be on. Football game must be on. Runners you can't win. While you're actually out knocking on doors, somebody's out there saying you never turned up for something. Learn this and quickly move on. Yes, everyone really should try running for an election. It's an eye-opening experience, and local media barely mention any of the local dirty tricks that have been played out when these election periods come up. Example: stealing of posters and destroying them, stealing of posters and then putting them back up after the election is actually over in deliberately odd places, and then report them as up to the council so that the original owner looking for them then gets fined for supposedly not taking them down in the first place after the election period is over. There's the destroying of others' leaflets in gardens from their letter boxes that they've been posted into, deliberately ripping them up. But sometimes leaving enough parts deliberately scattered around so much that a runner in the torn up leaflet can be identified. The owner comes home or comes out of their house, sees this mess in their garden, and comes to the conclusion they've dumped all their ripped up junk all over my garden. Well, feck them in a vote. So the other side wins. And on it goes. The tricks are just hair raising at times. Despite all that I've mentioned, here is the great part. You seriously get to meet some real people with various interesting tales to tell. You seriously learn some shocking stuff, sometimes a lot of shocking stuff. You get to pick up on pieces of information from various people. You're able to join it all together and see a bigger picture that most, with their own small piece, will never possibly see. You see genuine suffering, but you also meet fantastic people in the midst of their suffering, never looking for their own rewards, but are still amazingly aiding others while they suffer. You genuinely will feel humbled in their presence. I certainly do. You get to understand far better that all politics is local. You will see far better on the ground, local level, how politics helps or fails to feed hungry school children that still are existing and attending buildings of education today. You will see or meet people and their children that cannot even afford a winter coat. Honest to God, true story. And their kids walk to school with barely clothes on their starved, skinny back. Which is why now some schools are setting up food kitchens in the morning to make sure that everybody's fed. You talk to their concerned teachers, who weekly and monthly are very worried about this continuing situation. You talk to Garda, nurses, Navy and Army personnel, and others that have been caught in negative equity, and thus, like many others, are stone broke from week to week, month to month, just trying to keep the roof over their heads, the bills off their front doorsteps, and trying to keep their children in some sort of heat and food within their stomachs. I remember hearing from one guard who, genuinely crying, and I ended up crying with him, admitted that their family and himself were living at times on cheap breakfast cereal Aldi bought or Lidl bought. They were eating it at dinner time, tea time and breakfast time. I promise you too, this is a true story. I've heard similar also on the radio. I am a man, yes, with a male ego of some description, but I have cried too, with many, as going on the election trail I have found others even with greater hardships. I have been where they have been, and for some today still are, but my personal family stuff and tale is for another day. All the while, genuine caring election runners are out there, trying to raise matters and put pressure on crappy prior elected. The genuine ones will barely have time to wipe a tear away or raise a smile again, before someone else with a devious political agenda will viciously attack them again online. And the runners' families will get to see or hear some of this by the town village gossips passing the information on with glee. It must be in print out there on the internet, so it must be true. Despite all the bad, you do discover there is great good out there too. You will find it in places, quiet places, from people you never expect. And let me be totally honest again, it's their positivity that keeps you going. It's their causes that keep you going. It's their support that keeps you going through rain, even snow, or hard winds. You do find out who your true friends are as others vanish, giving you little or no help. I genuinely speak on this topic from experience, and despite all the abuse I've got and still gain, I will hope to run again sometime soon. Why? No, it's not for the money, for I've stated a number of times I will take a decent wage if by miracle elected, and give the rest back to charity. I have no problem stating that in public. It's not for any ego trip. If I ever have an ego, stuff it. It's not for any powers what you might get at local level. Stuff them too, because frankly they are little. It's to raise issues with someone further up the ladder that many of us do it. Others and I will run in elections because we care for people genuinely, and through raising and highlighting their suffering and tears shed, even if we improve one life, adult or child, we will have done something decent, we'll have done something positive, and one step forward is better than none at all. That's all I want to try and do. That's all that others want to try and do. Be a decent person and make a positive change in someone else's life. We run for election. I cannot this time at the moment, and I feel terrible over it. Because there is still suffering, and anyone suffering is one person too much. Alistair Smith, myself, and others just don't have the cold heart to walk away and do nothing. We simply can't. It would be wrong. To this day, I keep some of the stories of suffering from my wife because I know in my heart if I retold some of them to her, it would break her heart and there would be a lack of sleep. I have suffering pictures in my memory that I've seen, scenes of poverty that I've seen, and more that will forever haunt me. Despite all this, we keep going. What else can we do? But some don't get this. We just cannot walk away and say this doesn't happen, it's not existing. It does, and if we don't stand up, who is? P.S. The internet moaners will listen to this long post. Admittedly it's long, and moan, it's too long, I can't be arsed listening to that tripe. What's the lazy gobshite on about now? Or words to that effect. My final tip for runners. Try best to ignore them. You will never win with the truly stupid or devious political motivation. Save your energy for those that best need it, those genuinely suffering. In Ireland 2020, there is still too many of them. In 2020 general elections, I wish all the decent new election runners good luck. You're climbing an uphill mountain against a gang of mafia doll occupants that have the game stacked seriously in their favour. Despite this, good luck with your challenging of them. This is Jeff Rudd signing off till next time. Thank you for listening this far.